What's up? It's Maurio McCoy. I'm here to talk about the Noseblunt Nollie Flip. From what I remember, I was like 16 or something, and I was at the local skate park in Reading, Pennsylvania, and it was like kind of like one of those end of the session sort of situations. And the way I bail it, I like flick my feet sometimes, and I did that, and I was like, maybe I could actually like try to do that trick. And literally like 15 minutes later, I landed one and filmed it on my phone at night, damn near, because it was like the end of the session. But I did one, and then I like didn't do it for a while. Like I just like did it once, filmed it. I was like, all right, cool, I can do it.
Be careful with that, man.
Yeah, like you think this is too much? See, he didn't say shit. He's just gonna like die real quick. At that point, I had never seen anybody do it. I'm not saying like I started it. Pretty certain that I'm not the first person to do it, but it just all accidentally happened. There was like no inspiration other than like, cool, there's another trick I can do. Like yesterday, someone DM'd me with a clip of them skating their box on their street. That was the first one that someone like sent me, and like fully were like, thanks for the inspiration, whatever. And I was like, it's pretty wet. I was like, damn, I might have to like watch out. The first memorable one was the first one I did in the streets. It was like some really small ledge in Norristown, Pennsylvania. And I just remember like tripping because it felt so much like more gratifying to do it in the streets than it was that day that I first learned it. The one that I did at UCLA around the curve ledge, that's like probably my favorite because it also wasn't that difficult for me to do. Like it was just a little like scary, but it wasn't like the hardest I've had to try to land a trick. But the feeling of holding it around like a curve and then flicking, that was probably one of the coolest feelings. So I would say that's like the second most memorable one. I think rails are easier. There's just like more, you have like more leverage because you can drop it on a rail and then like flick out. Doing it on a ledge is kind of, it's tricky because you don't really like lock into a noseblunt the normal way. You kind of let it go on top a little bit so that you can shift it back. The same way I just do a noseblunt is the same setup for a noseblunt nollie flip. You have your front foot kind of in the pocket and your back foot kind of right below the bolts. Like I just get in and I'm like set up. I don't really like do the foot wiggle thing because if I did that, the noseblunt would start moving and then it would just mess everything up. I'll lock in, let it kind of drop down for a sec, and then I'll push it to the edge. And then once I push it to the edge, I'll flick at the same time, and then it feels like almost like crook nollie flip where that same like rocking motion gets it to flick. And then I just flick like the same way you would do a nollie flip. Sometimes it'll flip and it'll hit your feet. You're like, sick, I did it. I've tried both, like the flip in, the flip out. That's still working on that, it's hard. When you add more things to it, I don't think it makes it better. I think it almost like, it's like a visually appealing trick. So like you wanna make it stay within that. Like if there's anything that ruins the visual appeal, I'm not really down. I'm really about like the aesthetic of skateboard, like what it's about. You want it to look pretty. So like, I don't wanna mess that up. It's such a good looking trick by itself, just leave it. I'm not saying it's my trick. It's not mine at all, but like, I can do the trick, so I'm gonna talk shit on the trick. If you can't do the trick, can't really say shit about it. But if you can, and you come at it and you mess it up and make it all funny, I would have to let people know how I feel. I mean, hey, everyone can do what they want, but I'm still gonna say what I want. I'm still gonna say something, I don't know.